Good morning.
Good morning, bud. How are you?
Very good, very good. I can hear you. You can hear me. All right, so we will get going here to keep it on the time. I'm not sure exactly how long this will take, but basically we're going to do a third one of YouTube. So the first one we did, how do we find kind of gaps in YouTube's content? How do we find searches, keyword searches, where they don't have strong matches of the content? And that's how we figure out what content to go out and make. We should know that. We should know that before we're going out to make the content. Then the next part two, is where we learned how to optimize the video in order to come up in order for Google to pick it up in the search results from the chosen title that you already found was lacking content and you went out and made a video for. And then the third step is how do you get Google to actually suggest your content? How do you get them to suggest your content? Because Google can do a lot of free advertising for you if you can get it to suggest your content. And getting it to suggest your content is going to come down to basically two things, or I'll put it into three things, but it's going to be, what is a click-through ratio of your thumbnail? Is your thumbnail getting clicked through? Your watch time? It's pretty much click-through rate and watch time, but then there is also overall engagement. So if people are giving it a thumbs up, if people are subscribing, if people are putting in contents, this is signals to Google that you are sucking them into YouTube, and that's all YouTube wants. YouTube wants you watching it at 3 a.m. when you should be sleeping because you've got to take your kids to school. So any way that you can contribute to that, Google will reward you. And I'll pull up, and then consistency. So the other thing, consistency is a hard thing. If you do everything right and all else is equal, YouTube will favor the person who puts out one a week as opposed to the person who puts out one a month, or the person who puts out 3 times a week as a person who puts out one a week. If all else is equal, then that's a big factor. But I'm going to go into my YouTube channel here. And again, consistency is my biggest issue, guys, but I want to show you how Google can do all the work for you in terms of free advertising. And one thing I will let you know, when you get into Google Analytics, because I'm now doing YouTube advertising, there's no way to separate your paid views from your organic views when you're looking at your analytics. So it's a real nightmare. It should be one click to separate them. Now my analytics are kind of hard to get into because videos I'm pushing are going up, but let's go to lifetime here, because I just want to, before I hop into the reason why we're doing this, I want to show you the power of it. So here is a video that I have with the top views for myself. This one has brought me 442 subscribers, and this is from me doing absolutely nothing. This is 100% from, well, I won't say absolutely nothing, because I will get into what we do to get them to take action. But if we go to reach, so this is, Google has put this thumbnail. If I knew this thumbnail was going to be put in front of 260,000 people or 260,000 times, I might have worn a collar shirt when I did that. But if you look at this here, so this, so impressions, Google has put this 260,000 times in front of people, or YouTube, I should say. I haven't done anything. 39% of that was recommended on the homepage. So when somebody logs into their YouTube and you get like your playlists or your suggested videos, and 29% was recommended on a watch page, or over here, you'll see browse feature, 39%. That's people when they log into their YouTube and they just see they just see whatever is suggested there, and Google will do that based on similar people to them watching your content, or if they've watched other content of yours, whatever the case may be. A perfect example of how Axel ended up beside Eminem in my algorithm. Then you have YouTube search. So 34% is me coming up in search, and this is because I followed the first steps properly. I first found a search term that was lacking the content, as we did in the first video, and then I optimize it as I did in the second video. This has accounted for almost 34% of all of the impressions and views. And then the last one is suggested video, where YouTube is putting you at the end of videos or on the sidebar. Where it shows suggested videos. Now, in the title of this mastermind, I said how to get suggested, but really it's how to get on all of these. I'm calling all of these suggested, even though when we talk specific about YouTube's terminology, suggested video is at the end of a video or on a sidebar when you're watching the video. But what I'm talking about is how do we get picked up in all of these? So the first one is the thumbnail. Now, I'll give a couple examples of why, because YouTube, what it wants to do, it wants to put content there that will have people click and go down there. First, they got to click on it. They're not watching it if they ain't clicking on it first. So you want to have them to watch. And I'll put in some search terms here where, let's see here. And we just want to look at the difference of thumbnails. So my thumbnail, and I'm using ones that I have, and by no means are mine the best, because I've gotten better, but I'll tell you a couple things about the thumbnail. Like, one mistake, or not mistake, one improvement I can make on mine that I haven't done as of yet. Up till now, I have been using where to live in Vancouver. I'm doing the same thing as my search here. You don't need to do that. In fact, this is real estate for you to get, for you to use to bring the person in more. Like, for instance, this says where to live in Vancouver, top 5 areas outside. This, I did my title search and then I optimize it, but I could have put here, don't make these mistakes or you'll regret it, or something along those lines, right? Something that makes them, whoa, the thumbnail pops out. Don't make these mistakes. What then the title matches, and then they click into it. But we'll go to a couple more, because this one I think I made a better thumbnail and to stand out. So I'm number 4 here. But if you look at the thumbnails, I mean, pros and cons living in Coquitlam, BC. This is fine, but it's blending in. This, what you want on your thumbnail, you want a face. It's just proven that if you have a face there, people will stop more. So you do want a face on your thumbnail. Any expressions can certainly help people react to expressions. And then you want to think of your thumbnail as if it's on a cell phone. And is it easy to read? Having things like this, like I'm almost certain that on a cell phone, even on this, you can barely read Coquitlam there. Not that it's bad, but if you can get to the top spot and have the best thumbnail, you will get clicked every single time. If you're in the top spot and you have the best thumbnail, if you're in the top 3 and you have the best thumbnail, you will likely be the one that people click. So I'm going to get into just quickly the software that I use to make a thumbnail and kind of show you how quickly it can be done. But I think you're getting the idea. You want to have a face. You want it to be legible on a mobile phone, on a tiny screen, which means it has to be big, bold, and kind of pop out. So in this one, this was the first time I think where I leveraged my thumbnail to give text that wasn't in my title. So I have living in Coquitlam, BC, top areas in Coquitlam. Actually, I pretty much did the same thing, top 5 areas to live in Coquitlam. But keep in mind, you can use your thumbnail text. It doesn't have to be related to your optimized search that you've been doing. So I use PicMonkey. Now you can use Canva. The main you could use a free service, PicMonkey, or Canva. I use the paid version because it makes it easy to make something transparent. So I'll show you quickly here. Well, okay, so if I went create new, blank canvas, I come down to YouTube here. It's alphabetical order, YouTube thumbnail here. The reason that I have a paid version is for one reason and one reason only. I can go to my computer. This is my camera roll. I mean, in 5 minutes, you can take a whole bunch of photos of yourself making silly facial expressions or whatever the case may be. Let's see, I pull this in here. Now, when I do this in 1 second, remove background, I can remove background. Now, this is very, very key. If I wanted to, let's say, add a photo and I go city of Vancouver, and I mean, you can just take them off the internet, even though you shouldn't. I shouldn't say that here, but you could. Let's see if I see one of Vancouver I like here. On the side here, you can see it's in layers. If you've ever worked anything in layers, once you have a transparent background, if I put something back there, and that's kind of a blurry photo, it seems. Oh no, it's clear. And then maybe I will put a basic shape above it. Maybe I will. You'll see what I'm getting to in a second here. Obviously, I'm not going to black it out, but let's change the color maybe to whatever. I'm just doing this quickly for a sake of an example, and then I'll get into a couple other things, but I do want to show you how quickly this can happen. Then I come down here to blend modes, and I can just kind of do this, pull this behind there. Now I'm popping on top of there with that. And again, guys, I know I'm going through this quick, but you can simply go to Fiverr and go pick a channel of thumbnails you like, give them pictures of yourself and say, I want thumbnails that look like this, that say this. They will do them for like $5 a pop and send them back to you in 48 hours. So when I'm showing you this, it's not that you have to know how to do it, although you could learn it very quickly with a 5-minute tutorial on YouTube. It is to show you how simple it can be done, because when it's done simple, you can outsource it like this. It's not a big task, so you don't have to do it. So if I were to do something here, I would put a basic shape. Maybe I would go like this. Maybe I change the color to, and I want to get through this because I got some other important stuff I want to say, but then I might come here and go text, add text, you know, and whatever. I'll stop there, but you can get what I'm saying. I want text to pop. I want to choose colors that I think are going to stand out, and I want to have a face on there. If you want association of Vancouver in the back there, you can do that. Let's see, I'll show you tips. And I'll just give you a couple examples here of ones that I feel my thumbnail has been, my thumbnail has been beating the ones that are out there. I mean, this is at the top, but if you're at the top and your thumbnail, this is for Best Land Assembly Realtor in Lower Vancouver. Again, guys, just another way to show you that you can steal the top spot of great searches like nothing. But you can see, I think from looking at this, if someone searches that, my thing pops the most, it says what it is, I'm going to get the click. I'm going to get the click. So after that, guys,
do you always stay pretty consistent with your coloring and whatnot? Like with the
if you find something you like that works, yes, I think that's a very good idea. I've been kind of changing things. As you can see, my thumbnail colors have not been consistent to my brand colors. I'm looking for stuff that I think pops a little more. I'm using that bright green. I'm using that bright pink, and I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out what I like. If you can do it and it's consistent with your brand, I think even better, because like I said, on this particular video, YouTube has displayed my thumbnail 260,000 times and it didn't cost me a penny. So yes, if it screams your brand, and you know, maybe I wouldn't have worn the shirt. Maybe I would have worn a collar shirt if I knew I was going to be put in front of that many people, but I wasn't thinking it. So the other things I have here, so after your thumbnail, then it comes down to engagement. And A couple things I'll show you about engagement. Chapters will increase your engagement. If we look at, okay, so see these lines here? These are where I put chapters. See my chapters here? So top 5 areas of North Vancouver, top 5 areas to live in Vancouver, North Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond. You see these spikes in watch time? That's people clicking to my chapters. So definitely on longer videos, chapters can help. I know nobody's going to go watch my I know the large majority of people are not going to go watch my 20-minute video, but it doesn't matter. If they watch 6 minutes of my 20-minute video or watch 100% of your 4-minute video, I still win in the eyes of YouTube, because I have kept them on the platform longer. And that's not to say that short form is not good and long form is better. I think more so it's don't be concerned about it. Just make videos that you believe that will hopefully be consumable. So watch time is a big one. So how do we increase watch time? And sorry to jump over, but so with engagement, watch time is the number one. If you have longer videos, you can increase it by doing chapters. Any engagement, thumbs up, comments, subscriptions, these will all be engagement signals that will put YouTube will start suggesting your video, because if they are subscribing, it means they want to come back. So let's talk about, if the most important factor is your thumbnail, which we showed, and not the most important, and watch time, let's talk about a formula to increase your watch time. And there's many formulas out there. This is one that that I have gone through that I think works. You don't have to stick to it 100%, but if you have some sort of formula, it's going to help you when you're planning your video. It makes it easier to plan your video. So 5 steps to producing a video people will watch. Step number 1 is hooking the viewer. You do not start by introducing yourself. You want to use like they've had some. You want to use something quick and fast. It's going to either tell them, in this video, I'm going to show you how to, or you could speak to a pain point of theirs. Have you been looking for a home and losing offer after offer, seeing homes disappear before you even have the chance to get into them? Like you want to hook them, tell them what the video, you say, well, if it is, well, then this video is the one that's going to show you how you can beat out whatever the case is. You want to hook the viewer first. The first words you're saying are letting them know, I should stick around because he is talking to what I want to know. And if you can do that in the first 10 seconds, you will get an extra probably 20 or 30 seconds out of them. And if you can get that, you're already going to beat the averages of YouTube watch time. And if I show you, I don't know if I have time, but if I show you my metrics, it shows in mine 60%, like YouTube gauges you of what percentage of watchers are watching more than 30 seconds of your video. And in mine, it'll say like 69% are watching more than 30 seconds of your video. That's above average. I don't know why they choose that metric. Maybe because they know that if people stay over the first 30 seconds, they're likely to stay X amount of time. I don't know, but for some reason, that's a gauge on YouTube. But if you can hook them in the first 10 seconds, you will likely get another 30 to 60 seconds out of them. So hook the viewer, align with their feelings. Like, and this is if you can, I don't do it on all videos, but if you speak to a problem, then align with their feelings. I have done that before. And this is a solution I had where I have clients who have experienced that exact same thing. And this is why I'm making this video, or this is why I came up with these top 5 reasons, whatever the case can be. Hook the viewer, align with their feelings. And again, sometimes I don't always follow my own rules. I do always hook the viewer. I always start, you can watch any one of my videos. Before I even get to my intro, it's going to start. You will know exactly what my video is about or how I can help you in probably the first, regardless of how long it takes me to say it, it's the first thing I'm dealing with. So you're going to know what the content of my thing is. Sometimes it may be 10 seconds. Sometimes it may be 45 seconds. But the first thing I'm getting off is the value to you. If you're here, this is what you're going to get. Align with your feelings if you can, letting them know you know other people or you've gone through it. That just helps. I mean, here it says after you hook the audience, you want to align with their feelings, let them know that you understand where they're at right now. People do not care what you know until they know how much you care. So you want to align with their feelings and let them know that you understand. After you've done that, then you can position yourself as an expert or position yourself as the person who can answer that question. And this is where you get to introduce yourself. After that, we've got, the meat and potatoes, the teaching points, the tips, the tricks, whatever it may be, and then call to action at the end. But I would say you want to sprinkle your call to actions throughout. And again, guys, I learned this the hard way. If you don't tell them what to do, they won't do it. I only started getting people to subscribe from my videos when I started saying, if you like this content, click subscribe. Before that, nobody subscribed ever. Like it just, they don't. You got to tell them what to do. If you get any value from this video, give it a thumbs up. People in their mind, click it and do it there. Or if you have any questions, comment below. If you don't say this stuff, I promise you, you are only getting about maybe 10% of the engagement that you could potentially be getting, and asking for subscriptions. So that's kind of all I really have here. I did bring also a second one here. These are the videos that are proven to get you proven to get you people, proven to get you clients, but they're pretty much buyers. It will get you engagement. It will get you the videos that kind of fly. It's not to say you don't do the other videos, but moving to city name, 5 things you need to know, cost of living in area. This is just, you can look at people doing these videos all across North America. If you started off by doing these first 10 videos, and you can still do your market updates and still do your stuff in the middle, these are the videos that will start to get your viewership up, will start to get YouTube pushing your content. Not to say they won't push other content, but this is just what catches. And I experience it myself, and I consistency is my biggest problem, but I have a video that's caught in 20,000 views or 8,000 views, and it was 100% of YouTube doing it, because I followed this formula, which I learned from just many other people on the internet, right? Other realtors, where to live in, name your city, where to live in top 5 areas outside your city. That's the one that caught fire for me. Top 5 neighborhoods in, and again, this is unlimited content, right? In Burnaby, in Vancouver, in Coquitlam, for each one of these pros and cons of living in, 5 reasons not to move to. These are the ones that come up in search, and they'll get clicked on. 5 things you did not know about city, etc. 5 things to do in city. I haven't gotten to these. This is if you'd kind of done all of these. I've done most of the top ones. Your city versus other city, like we showed the other day. I think David has done one of Vancouver versus Victoria, and he paired up with a realtor in Victoria. So that was a really cool idea. 5 things to do in the city. I mean, that's really it, guys. We've got about 7 minutes left here, but any questions, thoughts, or comments on that at all? Everyone's on mute.
So I think it was good to go so far.
What's that? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Axel.
No, David, Dallas, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was just saying, no, I have no question. It was so clear and perfect for me, the explanation.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the main things, guys. And no question, these last 3 trainings, and there's David's. Look at those. David's got some great thumbnails in there.
There you go.
Eye popping. Really, these are the formulas if this formula plus consistency, and of course there's other stuff we can dive into in YouTube, but this is the meat and potatoes, is understanding how to find out where they have gaps in content. That was the first one we did, and then then you go make the videos optimized to that, so you can start coming up in the search. And once you come up in the search, you want to make sure you have the thumbnails that get the click, because if they give you if they give you not the pleasure, if they are putting you in search, they're only going to do it for a little bit. If you're not getting clicked, eventually they're going to put something else. It's just an algorithm in there. So the thumbnail is very much important. You want a face in there. If a face has expression, we just stop. There's a reason why on cereal boxes, they have faces and expressions, even from the cartoon characters. They've done studies of this, of faces on cartoon boxes, and getting kids to like say, "Mommy, Daddy, I want this or that." Like this has been long studied. So it's nothing new. Faces with expression. You can use your thumbnail to have other wording to get people interested in your video. It doesn't have to mirror this. The algorithm is reading your title. The algorithm, well, it probably is reading your thumbnail, but still not in the same way, or maybe not quite yet, but you can use that as other wording to attract them in. Once they click, then it's about how long can you keep them, or they click on the video. First thing they need to know in the first 10 seconds is that this video is for them, and you want it to be a strong match to your topic, to your title and your thumbnail. Because if they click there and it's something else, well, boom, your watch time is going to drop off. People are going to be clicking back on YouTube. I mean, we wouldn't do that in our business, but there's a time where people would do that. That's what we call clickbait. But if everything is congruent, your title, your thumbnail, they click through immediately, you confirm with them that they're at the right place because this is exactly what they're going to learn. Then you can introduce yourself, ask them to subscribe, click the link, comment if they have questions, or whatever the case may be, get into the content. And then again at the end, call to actions. I sprinkle call to actions throughout my video, and different ones in the middle. And a call to action can even be as simple as a banner coming up that says comment below. Like it can really be that simple. Or a thing on the screen comes up and it shows a thumbs up.
What do you edit your videos on?
Well, I edit my videos on Adobe After Effects. That's about as complicated as it gets, but I will look into find some basic video editors, because I know there's a lot of basic video editors out there. The concepts are the same, but After Effects or Adobe Creative Suite, it's more costly than I would recommend for anyone, unless you knew. I started out making silly music videos and things like this. This is how I got to know the software, but there is much. I could probably even find a basic or a free one that I'll send to you guys. I'll do some searches, because there's definitely more basic ones, and I wouldn't recommend anyone starting at Adobe After Effects, because it's just way more complicated than need be. But there are basic ones, and I'll figure it out.
And what about the popularity of shorts right now, grabbing people's attention and then transitioning them to your page?
So shorts, I don't know too much about. YouTube as it is experimenting with them. And I myself, as a YouTube consumer, when I'm on my phone, I do find myself getting into shorts. What I know about shorts is, because whenever a platform is trying to introduce a new type of content, typically what you will get is more exposure faster than you would get on other pieces of content. It's no different than when Instagram is introducing reels or things like that. It'll typically get you more exposure. Axel, I've seen you have been doing some shorts. What's kind of your experience on them? I haven't been using them, but I have been watching some channels who have used them, and I can see their views go up like that, because it can get you view counts and it can get you exposure.
No, the views for the shorts, of course, have been much more than the regular videos that I have done in YouTube. That's for sure. And I do them under a minute because I wanted to keep that on Insta TikTok and many other platforms that are out there. So that's the reason, but not intentionally, but at the same time, it gets into reels and attention of the social media at the same time. So it's easier to share, and it's just a small content. But the issue with that is with the under a minute video, it's not much of a suggestions in there. So you got to point into the a targeted conversation, and also there's no video suggestion at the end, because you're going to be blocking yourself for almost 30-second or 20-second suggesting that videos that to watch next time. But yeah, if you can get that targeted conversation with under a minute, it definitely is suggestible. It gets more views.
And what is the max length on a YouTube short? Is it 1 minute as well?
I haven't experienced it, but so far most of my videos were under a minute. So as soon as it's under a minute, it automatically goes under the shorts.
Well, it makes sense, because I feel like it's trying to go after the market of Reels and TikTok, right? So I'm not sure if that's the maximum, but that would make sense. Is there any strategy you can think of directing them to other YouTube content? Like there's no clickable or anything like that, right? It would more kind of be the brand exposure and the fact that if YouTube sees them watching your shorts, it will likely start to place a little bit of your content in them, because they're just trying to see who will walk down each individual's rabbit hole.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the thing. So I think that's another avenue of just exposing yourself, which it has to be targeted. So, talking about a subject under a minute, it's not as easy. So introducing yourself and getting to the whole point of the suggestion of what Mark was saying, under a minute, and following all those pointers, it could be not easy, because the subject itself needs explanation. But yeah, you got to give at one point.
That formula might not work for shorts. Maybe look and see what would make sense and pluck one of them, or maybe add a call to action at the end. But yeah, that formula is not for ads. It's not for shorts. That formula is for your typical YouTube video. Even with ads, I gotta switch up the whole format.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I got to jump into another Zoom at 10
Absolutely.
o'clock.
10 o'clock, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye for now.